Hey guys, welcome back to the Chelsea Brothers YouTube channel. Today we will be predicting the 2020 to 2021 season. And we are joined by a special guest in, I must say, a dreadful jersey, Mark Hunter. Welcome, Mark.
Hello.
All right. Are you guys ready to kick off our predictions?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So why don't we start off with the bottom of the table? Tangli, why don't you go first? Give us your prediction for who will come at 20th place at the end of the season.
Okay, for 20th, I think I have quite a universally agreed one, West Brom. So I think if you have a striker like options in Charlie Austin and Robson Kanu, you're probably not going to win many games. So that's my point of view in that.
I'm the exact same.
I agree with that too. I do have West Brom currently at the 20th position. So it's good to know that we all agree on something, because I think one thing that me and Harry agree on is also, like Harry said, that jersey is really awful. I'm sorry, it just hurts my eyes to see it.
No, I love it. Barcode season.
I'm talking about the Watford jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, the Watford. Sorry, I thought we were talking about West Brom. I was like, that's a nice jersey. That
is nice.
Yeah. But anyway, the 19th place. Who we got?
Okay, so Harry, why don't you kick us off at 19th place?
So at 19th place, I've got Aston Villa. Obviously, Grealish, fantastic player, and we don't know what he could do. But with his future at the club uncertain. I don't see them doing much better than 19th. They have brought in Watkins for, I think it was 28 mil, but I just don't think that's enough to keep them in the Prem.
Yeah, I think the question there is obviously where they end up will depend on whether they are able to keep a hold of Jack Grealish. I mean, Man United have eased off their interest in him now that they've signed Donny van de Beek, and he was his largest suitor was Manchester United. So now that they are no longer in the market for a central attacking midfielder, I don't know whether he'll leave Aston Villa, and if he does, where will he go? So if they manage to keep a hold of him, I don't think they'll be in a relegation place.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tangli?
Who did you put for 19th then?
Me? Oh, so I have Fulham at 19th place. I don't think that they're strengthened enough. I know Mitrovic did have a very solid season when he was here in the Prem 2 seasons ago, but I don't think he'd be able to do it again. I just don't see Fulham doing. Maybe 18th, but I don't see them being anywhere apart from the relegation places. Especially since 2 seasons ago, when the league was not as competitive as it is today, and with Mitrovic performing at the best, one of the best seasons he has ever had. Even if then they could not survive a relegation, I don't see them surviving right now, and I see them at 19th place for that very reason.
Yeah, I also think that their manager, Scott Parker, like he was a good player in his day, but just he's been outclassed a few times in the Championship as well. So if you're being outclassed in the Championship tactically, then you're going to struggle against proper managers like Pep or Jose.
Or Frank, our very own beloved Frank. All right.
Yeah. Go on.
So moving on to... Oh, wait. Hold on. Tell me, who do you have at 19th?
Fulham.
You have Fulham too? That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Harry, why don't you kick us off with 18th place?
Well, obviously, this will be a shock call, but I have Sheffield at 18th.
Oh. From an almost European, from almost being able to take part in a European competition to now being relegated, that's a massive drop in the Premier League. Why
I think last season was, I don't want to say lucky because they played very well, but I don't think they can replicate that, especially with Dean Henderson now at Man U. Yes, they've got Berge and Egan, but I can't see them staying up. And I know it's controversial. They probably will stay up, but that's just where I think they'll go.
But you could argue that obviously, so they have signed Bournemouth keeper, what's his name, Ramsdale. And while he's obviously not as good as Dean Henderson. He's still a very solid keeper. So I if the main reason for you saying that they'll drop to the championship is because they lost Dean Henderson, one could argue that while they have lost an amazing keeper with amazing potential, his replacement isn't that bad. He's still a pretty solid keeper. So I don't. Is that enough to make them drop what, like 10 places, something like that?
No, and you are probably right. I just think that is a huge loss. But also you got to consider that Dean Henderson is a big part of that squad. Like mentally, like for the squad, losing that, we don't know how that affects the players. But you're right. He's got a solid replacement, but I don't think they'll stay up.
Yeah, like I haven't put Sheffield United there. I put Aston Villa, so like just one place above Harry. But like Dean Henderson was like, he gave the confidence to the players because they knew that they wouldn't concede if they shot, like if the opponents had a chance. With like Ramsdale, he's still quite new to the league, and even for Bournemouth, he was prone to really stupid mistakes. And like their attack is still like McGoldrick, and they have Billy Sharp, so like they don't have quality attackers. So the fact that they were able to stay up and like even challenge for like Europa League spots with that attack was way above what they should have been achieving. So I think I haven't put them there, but I also have them falling down quite a few places.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that. I too don't have them. I too haven't kept them as high as they were last season. But I have gone for maybe a bit of a shocker, but I've gone for Brighton Hove and Albion down at the 18th place. I don't see them surviving in the league. So Chelsea is playing them first in the Premier League. I just don't think that they've done good business this season. I mean, actually, one guy they have done pretty good business. They have signed Adam Lallana and Veltman, but I don't know. I mean, last season they really underperformed with their squad, especially Neil Maupay, Aaron Connolly. They had some really promising players, but they just really underperformed, coming 15th. And I just don't see them surviving the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to 17th.
Yeah. So we are out of the relegation places. Now let's move on to the relegation. It's still a battle. Any of these teams down 17, 16. Okay, obviously still dropped to the relegation places. But let's see who we have there. Mark, Harry, one of you guys start us off.
Harry?
Well, Mark, would you like to go?
Sure. I have Crystal Palace there. Because I think if they keep Zaha, then I think they could get like 14th, 13th. But without Zaha, I think like this easy guy might be decent, and he might even replace Zaha. But Zaha was putting up so many numbers, and like teams were just putting like 2-3 players on him, and that just gave the space for like a player like Ayew, who wasn't scoring many goals, to actually get a few this year. So I think if they lose Zaha to like Dortmund or something, then they just don't really have any firepower up top.
Yeah, that's fair. So I agree. Zaha will be essential towards them doing well. But the thing is, where do you see Zaha going? Because it seems really unlikely that he will leave, considering Crystal Palace are remaining very strong on the demand for 70 million for him, which is really high price, even considering the market right now, especially since
I think they'll drop it to like 30. I don't think it'll be 70.
30 will be a big bargain for him. I mean, Zaha has wanted to leave for the past 2 seasons, and they've still held strong at 70 million, no matter who's come knocking. I know Chelsea's come knocking. I know Man U has come knocking. A lot of teams have come knocking for him, but they have stayed strong and they have not let go of the 70 million price tag, and I do not see them letting go down. I think they've held on to him for too long to suddenly decide, all right, let's drop it, because they would have gotten a lot more a season ago or 2 seasons ago when his contract is still a lot longer. So I don't see him leaving the season. I think he'll leave once his contract ends. He'll go to probably Manchester United, and then fight for a spot over there. but I don't see him leaving the season. And I think because of that, and then along with Easy, I think they will do pretty well this season, actually.
Yeah. Just because we've only got 40 minutes on this, I feel like we should do section at a time from here. And then if there's any big bold statements, then we should clarify that. But just because we do have limited time. So what should I just say? I'll just start us off with 17th, 16th, and 15th.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So at 17th, I have Newcastle. At 16th, I have Burnley. And at 15th, I have Southampton. So Newcastle, if you are signing Fraser and Wilson, they were originally. I was originally thinking they would go down, but if you're signing Fraser and Wilson, you have my backing. And yeah, what about you guys? 16th and 17th.
So 17th, I have Aston Villa, the team that you put in 19th, if I'm not wrong, and Tungli you put at 18th. I have Aston Villa going 17th, just surviving relegation. But that is obviously that is obviously based on the fact that they managed to keep a hold of Jack Grealish. It's considering that if they do lose him, then I see them dropping all the way down to 19th even. So I have Aston Villa 17th. I have Southampton at 16th, a team that hasn't strengthened much over the summer, and then I have Newcastle at 15th. The main reason being, this I think if I'm not wrong, this is the same position as last year. But the reason even though they've strengthened with the signing Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser, like you said, the reason I don't see him rising up in the table is just because in terms of the relative, if you compare to how much they have strengthened to other teams in the league, it's not as much. I mean, if you look at the way Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton.
You're obviously looking at the like nobody's going to argue that those three teams you just mentioned are bottom 10. So it's like it's different. It's a different world between the top 10 and the bottom 10.
No, but the point is, the teams in the bottom 10, most of the points they get are from the other teams in the bottom 10. But the barrier between the bottom 10 and the top 10 is becoming increasingly, how do I put this, disappearing, because even the teams towards the bottom of the top 10 are strengthening a lot. In the likes of Everton, Wolves have recently done very well. Sheffield did amazingly last season. All these teams, they have been doing well because they did strengthen a lot. Maybe not this summer, Sheffield last summer, but you get the point. The barrier between these two, between the top 10 and the bottom 10, is becoming smaller and smaller, which is why I see Newcastle struggling and keeping a 15th place even though they strengthen.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
My 16th and 15th were Leeds and West Ham. So West Ham 15th, Leeds 16th. I think Leeds, I mean, if they bring in another attacking player, then probably they can move up to like 13th or 12th. But with having, like, Rodrigo's a decent striker, but he only got like 2 goals or something last season for Valencia. So and the other striker is Patrick Bamford, who's notoriously known for being shit. So I think, like, if you have that attack, you're not going to score enough goals in the Premier League to stay up. And I mean, their best centre back, Ben White, is at Brighton now, so there's nothing they can, like, they don't even have a brilliant defense to back it up.
Yeah, but the thing is that you have to keep in mind, Rodrigo is not your traditional striker who likes to stay in the box and just get shots in. He's not a target man. He's not a poacher. He's more of an all-rounded player. He's the kind of player that likes to make runs between lines, play in other players. He's more of a whole-rounded striker. So
that's probably what Leeds need more, because you need goals in the league. So if you have an all-round striker, it's not. I mean, I don't think Helder Costa or like the other wingers for Leeds are really going to get 10 goals a season to keep them up. So I don't know. I think they'll be 16th because I like Bielsa, so I think he's a good manager. But other than that, I don't think they have much going for them.
Fair enough.
West Ham, they're just bottle jobs. So
yeah.
Like they should be like a 10th place team, but they just always screw it up. So
yeah.
How is?
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to go into my 14th to 12th pick.
Just
Okay.
one quick thing before you go there. How essential do you guys think Thomas Tuchel will be for them this season?
I think solidifying him was as a permanent move was a great move. Yeah, just a solid player. And then he scored a goal. He scored a good goal, a good header back late season last year when we needed it most. Good too.
Good two against us.
Yeah.
I think just having that bit of height, because he's like 6'5". So I mean, having a midfield of Rice and Souček is quite intimidating for an opponent. So I think I don't think West Ham are even like, they shouldn't be worried about going down, but I just don't think that they will perform as highly as maybe the chairman think they can.
All right. So now moving on to 14th to 12th.
Okay, Harry.
So I think two of these are pretty standard with Crystal Palace and West Ham. We've spoken about both of those. I think Crystal Palace will end up keeping Zaha. So, but then my 12th is a big shock. I've got Fulham. I think with Areola, Real Madrid. I know, not the best, but he's got the experience for Real Madrid, and you can't knock that. Brian. So we all know he had a fantastic season last year. Mitrovic, who has played in the Premier League before, and Seri from Galatasaray. I think it would be. They've got a decent chance, and of course with their manager this year, I think they've got a decent chance. And I think people are writing them off a bit too soon.
Yeah, no, I think that could happen. I mean, personally, I think they'll go down. But I mean, if Areola is a good character in the dressing room, and like if Mitrovic does what he did when they were in the Premier League last time, then I think they could stay up. I don't know if 12th, but like it could happen.
Yeah, I couldn't see them. Like I kept on comparing them to the other teams. I just couldn't think of anything.
Just a quick question. So do you have Crystal Palace at 13 or do you have West Ham at 13?
I have West Ham at 13th.
West Ham 13 and Crystal Palace 14. Am I right?
I think the divide is a lot bigger this year between the best and the worst teams. I think that there's a very clear line where the teams get very good for me.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the reason this is going to be the part where there's the biggest difference between places for us, because I mean, looking at like a Newcastle, Brighton, Southampton, Burnley, they're all quite similar in points every year. So yeah.
Mm.
All right. So who do you have 14 to 12?
So 14th Burnley, 13th the surprise one Sheffield United, 12th Southampton. Those three.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good. I think Southampton maybe a little bit high. I don't think they did quite enough, and they lost Holberg to Tottenham. So I don't think they did quite enough. But at the end of the day, it's a difference of 3 places between us, and obviously we've got Sheffield. We've pretty much swapped Sheffield and Fulham between us. But yeah, there's reasons for that, and we've been over that one, so it's
that's fun. Yeah, Bar, what are yours?
So mine are 14th place Burnley, 13th place Crystal Palace, and I have at 12th place West Ham. Mm-hmm. We have talked about all 3 of these clubs. I mean, we did talk about Burnley. Burnley, yeah. I remember 2 seasons ago they had one of the most amazing defenses in the world.
Just like but they didn't have a very good attack, so it's super boring watching them because it's just 4 draws.
But last season, even with the same defenders, Tarkowski, Ben Mee, Nick Pope and goal, they just couldn't keep up the same performances. So I think the performance.
I think that has a lot to do with how the league's progressing, with the top teams getting better, and it's not the worst teams getting worse. They're just top teams are getting so good with all that money. So should we move on to 11th? We'll just do 11 and 10 now. And then
11, 10, and then we can do that.
Yeah. So at 11th, I have Brighton, and at 10th, I have Leeds. So Brighton, I think, with Ben White, Lallana and Veltman, I think that's great additions to the squad. They've been in the Premier League for a while now. So I think, yeah.
No, I've Brighton at 11th, so I agree with that. I think they're going to do well.
And let's just keep one thing in mind. I mean, at Brighton, we have a really good experienced centre back in form of Lewis Dunk. And then we have one of the most exciting budding centre backs right now in the league in Ben White. And I cannot imagine just how much Ben White will learn from Lewis Dunk, who is obviously who's an amazing centre back. So I think he will learn a lot, progress a lot in the season, learning under Lewis Dunk as well, which just helps Brighton be even better.
I think a 3 in the back as well will suit him, because when you're coming in as a young centre-back, playing a 3 at the back gives you quite a bit of cover. So he won't really have that pressure of starting in the Premier League, because even if he makes a mistake, he knows that he'll have Dunk or maybe Burns or someone covering him. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be a good addition.
Yeah, and then I know big shock for Leeds to be 10th, but I think they've had, as in with Calvin Phillips, he's a great player. I know yet to prove himself in the Premier League, but he hasn't had the chance, and he's just been dominant in the Championship. Then we've got Hernandez, who had a great season last year. Casilla, I don't know, he's had his seasons, but he's been at Leeds for a while now. I think this is chance to step up. And obviously Rodrigo. I don't think La Liga was his year last year. That year La Liga was his year. But I can see him being a good fit. I say good fit. I think he'll be a Chicharito character.
Yeah.
For, the Leeds squad.
And let's not forget, if I'm not wrong, Calvin Phillips is the only player from the Championship last season who actually got a call up to the England squad for the most recent Nations League. I don't even know what it's called anymore.
Yeah, Nations League.
Yeah, Nations League games. And obviously that shows how much trust Gareth Southgate has in him, and just shows how much potential he maybe has and what he can do in the Premier League. The fact that he's getting called up to the England squad. So yeah, there's that. So I do similar to Harry, not exactly like him. I have Leeds at 11th place, and I have Sheffield dropping to 10th place. I just don't see Sheffield keeping up the same performances that they had last season. But I don't think they'll drop all the way to the relegation places like Harry thought maybe. But yeah, I don't see them coming up in the top 7, 8 this season.
I agree with that.
Bottom of the top 10.
Okay, so for last one of these, so 10th I have Newcastle. This one's a bit different to yours, but I think those additions will make a big difference. And I think bringing in Wilson, who's actually a good goal scorer, having someone like St. Maximin on the right wing, who is a bit like flamboyant, but I think that he's quite good at getting a few assists. And I think Wilson's the type of guy who, if he doesn't get injured, can actually get you double digits in the league. So I think they can get 10th place. Yeah.
And who do you have at 11th?
I had Brighton, but we've already discussed. So.
All right. Yeah. So let's just take a minute over here to see what our tables are looking like at the moment. So let's just see what the table is looking at right now. So this is our bottom 11 right now. So the first column is Mark's, Dungley's. Second column is mine, and the third column is Harry's. Yeah. So have a good look at it. And let's move on to the top 9. All right. So should I kick us off this time?
Okay. I think go do the top. So 9, 8, 7.
I think do 9 to 7. So then we can talk about Europa League and Champions League after that.
All right. So 9 to 7, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just one. Okay. Can somebody start us? 1 second. Yeah, I'll start us off. Okay, so 9th place I have Wolves, and 8th place I have Everton, and at 7th place I have Leicester. Now Wolves this season have lost a very key player in the form of Matt Doherty to Tottenham. I think he was vital to their system last year, and losing him is a big loss. So yeah, that's one reason I don't think they'll do as well. But also they have not strengthened as much as a lot of the other teams that are about to come up. And that's why I don't see them sixth place. I can't remember what they were, sixth to seventh place. I don't see them remaining there. I do see them dropping down to ninth for that very reason. What do you guys think about Wolves?
I had them. Well, I actually had the same teams as you. So I had ninth was Everton, eighth was Leicester, and seventh was Wolves. I mean, for Wolves, you kind of said the right thing. Like, I think Doherty will be a miss, but at the same time, their system kind of allows for them to lose a wing back because they can put like they have a trial, they put a right wing back, and then they brought in another guy for left wing back. So now they like Vinagre, the young guy, they can put him there. So then they've got two solid wing backs. Everton, I think Harry wants to talk about that, but I think just the signings have been quite good for them. So I think ninth, but I wouldn't be surprised if they came up to like seventh.
Wait, so this is Wolves, right? You see Wolves coming up to seventh.
I'm saying Everton from ninth, they could go up to seventh.
Right.
I think.
So tell me, what's your ninth, eighth, seventh?
Ninth is Everton, eighth is Leicester, and seventh is Wolves.
Yeah. Harry, you were saying something?
It's just like I think this season with Allen, fantastic player. I think with Decore and James Rodriguez, massive signing. I know we're not getting there yet, but I think they'll be higher than I think they'll be Europa League. But in ninth to seventh, I have Wolves, Leicester, and then Tottenham.
Wolves, Leicester, Tottenham. Wow.
So Tottenham obviously having Doherty has improved and weakening, whilst they're not direct rivals in terms of position, weakening Southampton with Holberg, I think was a great move too. Wolves signing Fabio Silva from three things are certain in life: death, taxes, Wolves signing a Portuguese player. And they've done it again. So
getting a lot of players from the same country who can communicate the same way obviously will help towards building chemistry, and also easing him into the team will be a lot faster.
Yeah.
So that's good.
All right, so let's go on to Europa League.
Yeah, guys, we do have only 7.5 minutes, so let's do this quickly. Yeah. So in Europa League, who wants to kick us off?
So I'll just start because I've said it. Everton, I think they'll be coming sixth this year. I think the top five is too strong for Everton to properly compete, but I do think away from that top five, they have the most impressive squad. And then I think, now this is big one. I think City will be coming fifth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have my reasons for that. Losing Leroy Sané, I think, is massive. Obviously, strengthening with Ake and Moreno, but I just think losing Leroy Sané would be and with the other team strengthening so much, I think that's just.
Let's not forget they did sign Ferran Torres, who's an absolutely superb winger. So to replace Leroy Sané, once again, very young player with a lot of potential.
But exactly, very young with potential. I think it's a great signing for the future, but Leroy Sané is upper echelon. Who do you guys have?
I had sixth Tottenham, so same as you said, Doherty I think is a good player, so that's helpful. And Mourinho's manager as well, I think is quite important. And then fifth, I have Arsenal. I think they have good signings, and I like what Arteta's doing. I just think that even if you're bringing in them, it's going to drop quite a few points at the beginning. So then at the end, I think they'll be quality, but at the beginning, I don't think they'll be just good enough to get into the top four.
Okay, so we can hear you for a bit. But the thing, I have the exact same fifth and sixth place as you. I have Arsenal going fifth, Tottenham at sixth. I think Arsenal have strengthened very well this summer, spent very wisely in Gabriel. They also have William Salibas coming in. They have Pablo Mari coming in, and then they signed Willian Alfrey, who, as we all know, is an absolutely amazing player who's given a lot for our club. And I'm fine with letting him go to Arsenal after everything he's done for us. But we all know how dangerous he is. So I think they spend their money very wisely this summer. They strengthened a centre back, which has always been their weakest position. They got a brilliant winger. So yeah, I think they'll come fifth. I still don't think they're good enough to make it to the top four, but yeah.
Yeah. Right, so that brings us to Champions League positions.
Yes.
Okay.
We do a bit more. Should we just fourth and fifth? So fourth and third.
Sure.
Start.
Yeah.
So
To build up. To
Yeah. So, well, I've got United at fourth. Van der Beek, and then solidifying that Igalo loan is big. And then obviously Dean Henderson. Now they've got so much depth in. Like if De Gea is just performing absolutely rubbish, put Dean Henderson in, or the other way around. And then I've got in third. I've got Arsenal. You guys know at Chelsea Brothers, I am a big fan of Aubameyang. I think you follow him. Willian, big signing, Chelsea boy. And then also solidifying Ceballos, making him permanently in that squad. I can't see them dropping below third.
That's fair enough. I don't think they'll make it to the top four, but that's what we're here for, to advocate for our own opinions. So I have Manchester United at fourth as well. They haven't strengthened as much this season, but bringing in Bruno in January was a fantastic piece of business by them. Revolutionized their squad, had a brilliant effect. Van der Beek, solid player, played in a more deeper role this season, offers that bit of depth. So I think that's a solid signing too. Then at third place, I have our club, Chelsea FC. I don't see us challenging for the title this season, sadly. I think our squad needs some time to grow together, form the chemistry, form those bonds. I see us maybe challenging for the Premier League next season, and then the Champions League the season after. So I have Chelsea at third, Manchester United at fourth.
Okay. And
mine's fourth is Man U and third is Chelsea. So same as you. My only thing is that I think that if Man U gets Sancho and Reguilon, then I think Man U could get third, because I don't think Chelsea will have the players that will like. I don't think they'll complement each other as well as people expect.
all right, so I'm just going to dive right into it with my first and second. Now I have a reason for this. I have Chelsea going first, and that's because Liverpool I don't think have just done quite enough this transfer window. Obviously a fantastic team, but they've only signed, I'm not even going to try to say his name, yeah, that guy. They've signed him, and I just don't think that is enough to compete with the transfers that Chelsea has made this season. They've pretty much just made. I can't see a way Chelsea won't win with those impressive signings.
Yeah. So I have Liverpool going first and Man City going second. We've obviously discussed Man City. And then we also, I think Liverpool will come first. They've just been so dominant this season. I don't see them I don't see them maybe losing up their grip in the league. I think they'll maintain their first place, and considering they won by a margin of like 30 points. So yeah, I just don't see them losing. So I have Liverpool first, Manchester City second.
Okay, then mine's also it's switching with Varn. So I have Man City first, Liverpool second. I think Liverpool might lose Wijnaldum to Barcelona, and if that happens, I don't think they have enough creativity. And like with Man City, I don't think they're the best team, but I don't think they got great transfer deals, because I don't think Ferran Torres will be as good as they expect. But I think they've still got a strong enough team that they'll win the league.
But let's not forget, they are also in the market for Bayern midfielder Thiago Alcantara. And if they sign him, I think he's a massive upgrade on Wijnaldum. So
yeah.
Anyway, it says the meeting's about to end, so I think we should sign off here.
Again, let's show you our predictions for the league. So here it is. All right. I hope you guys like it. Do pause if you need to have a look at it for longer. But we have really enjoyed speaking to you and advocating our views. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you. Chelsea!
Let's go.